the inside part of the plate, and Castellanos didn't like that call. Davis goes to third.
He is such a thief when thrown. Davis knew that because he'd already watched Norris do it.
Tapper to short. It's going to be a tough play to get Davis. Safe to first. Kelly scores. And the Tigers now lead at 5-1.
Another ball down into that corner. Rajai Davis shading over there, makes a running catch. He caught it in fair territory. It didn't hurt that the previous ball was hit down in that same area.
Center field. Drives this one to the air deep into left center field. That ball is tattooed, and it's going to go up against the wall. That'll get another run in. Rajai streaking all the way to third, and he is in safely with another triple.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from the AAMP.TV studios here in fabulous Las Vegas. That's AAMP.TV. Today's show is brought to you by Legal Shield, providing legal protection and peace of mind. Legal Shield can help with traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUIs, court appearances, contracts given to you don't understand. Maybe somebody stole a base and you can't find it. Maybe you better ask our special guest today. Anyway, for more information, contact Legal Shield at 213-245-1305. That's 213-245-1305, or visit them online at nocourt.us. That's nocourt.us. And a big welcome into everybody watching on AAMP.TV, hotel television from coast to coast in 650,000 rooms, as well as our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates, and iHeartRadio, Spotify, and right here in Las Vegas on Magic 97.9 FM, as well as Talk 1490 WIRB in Southern Alabama, plus all of our other friends around the country. We have a very special guest right from the top of the show, and we're going to let him introduce himself.
How you doing, guys? This is Rajai Davis out here. I obviously played Major League Baseball. I've played 14 Major League seasons. And right now, I am just ready to talk with our main man from the Sports Circus.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. Big round of applause. Oh, and by the way, folks, in case you're wondering a little bit more about this guy, not just a player in Major League Baseball, currently the stolen bases leader. And I believe, don't you have about 431 stolen bases?
I do have a lot. I'm just thankful that I got that opportunity. The number 400 is I had to go ahead and steal that base. It's actually mounted in my son's room, so that's definitely a moment for me to share with my son and my family. So that's one thing. I'm just fortunate enough to have just to be able to stay healthy, stay in the game. I think that's right. The huge key to be able to stay in the game. And I've been able to stay in the game because of being able to stay on the field. And part of that is health and fitness and nutrition and a lot of that goes into preparing the body every day.
Right. Sticking around for so long, and you're still playing ball too. And look, not only is the conditioning important, but keeping the ability to run fast is a big deal. But let me ask you this. Lefty or righty on the pitcher's mound, which is easier to steal off of?
Honestly, I think the lefty is easier to steal off of majority of the time because of the baseball dynamics nowadays. And, they're looking at numbers a lot. I had a lot more opportunities to steal off lefties, even though I thought that righties were the easiest. but the righties, they just kept slide stepping and just shortening their time. So the lefties, they think because they're looking at you, that you're not going to run. And so that's when I really, really learned how to really get the left-handers.
So I find that interesting. I mean, once upon a time, I was a lefty pitcher, and I drew that imaginary line halfway between home and first, almost on that 45-degree angle, making sure that if I lifted my leg, that I didn't cross the rubber, right? So there was still that moment of we don't know which way he's going with it, but I could lean a little bit to home, but still kind of be on the, I guess, if I'm facing the bag, as long as I'm on the left side of that 45-degree line, if you will, that halfway point, I never got called for a balk from it. I've had a lot of complaints, back in the day. I mean, that was back when we had Atari and Pong and stuff like that, right? But how did you look at the lefty pitchers? Were you looking to see if that foot crossed the rubber, or were you just playing mind games at first, going back and forth with the pitcher?
I mean, it's a combination of a number of things. For number one, we have so much video, we have so much analytics that we can look into a pitcher and see exactly what he's doing. Okay. And so we can know beforehand what his tendencies are. We can look at his tendencies to come over the first base as opposed to going home. We can look at tendencies as far as how many times he'll come over. And, if he's thrown over 2-3 times, has he ever done that before? Thrown over the fourth time or the third time. And so those kinds of things go into play with stealing bases. And so, you just doing your homework in advance. And once you get really, really good at it, and sometimes it's just instincts, sometimes it's just going out there and what is the pitcher showing you? Or what does he look like? Who is he more concerned about, you or the batter? And if he's concerned about the batter, well, guess what? That gives me an advantage. And if he's concerned about you, well, that gives the hitter an advantage. And so I think the goal of everything is really to score more runs than your opponents. And so if I can take the focus off the batter and bring the focus over to me, well, that means, guess what? My batter is probably going to get a better pitch to hit. And if he's ready to hit, well, he's going to get a good pitch to hit.
Folks, we're here with Rajai Davis, stolen base master. And I have to tell you, man, me being, in my little league world of baseball, I know exactly what you're talking about, but from a pitcher side, because there's nothing more annoying to have somebody that is remarkably quick and that's very good at reading the pitchers, but they're nothing but a distraction on the base path. And it's very difficult, especially if I'm looking at first. I've got this guy that I know, I'm not going to tell him, but he's in my head because this guy is reading me. He knows when I'm going home. He knows when I'm going to first, even if I try to make a slick move, kind of a balk move, but not. Mark Burley was really good at that, right?
Yes, he
was. But the idea of that kind of a move, it's still distracting because, folks, look, you are looking just in your set position. You're looking at first base and you've got this guy, he's going to try to steal a base off you. It's just, when is he going to go? And there's nothing more annoying than to have to face him knowing he's good. But, oh, by the way, I got a guy that's hitting 340 up at the plate. I don't even know what to do at that point. And you've been on some of those teams that have these great hitters and you're in the great spots. So now, not being a distraction from the hitter, and obviously sometimes you have a guy that's a really high on base guy behind you, but this guy is going to probably drive you in. And I know that you've probably been told from some coaches, hey, look, let this guy swing the bat. Don't take the bat out of his hands. But you can steal 2 bases off the pitcher. How do you handle that?
Well, I think that requires conversation. Okay. They a lot of it's going geared towards analytics and what the numbers say, but what is the game actually saying? What is what did this game require? What is needed? Do we need a boost? Do we need to get, because a lot of fans, get into the game and from guys who could steal bases. That's the exciting part of the game. They enjoy that. That's what I've noticed, at least in some of the fans that I've been able to interact with, that they've shared that with me. And so, that's part of, the entertaining part of it. And then, but we're playing a game and we're playing to win. And so I want to put our team in the best position. And sometimes that's not always what, management, they're not seeing it from my perspective. And that's where I think that takes a conversation. You got to have a conversation, sit down with the manager, sit down, with the guy that's hitting behind you, and have a conversation, talk about it. And you never know what could come out of that. I personally want the guy behind me ready to hit. I mean, because I know out of all the pitches that he's going to see, a lot of times it's going to be ball. A lot of times it's going to be right there for him to drive a ball. I'm trying to score. I want to score runs. That is the main purpose for being out there, to score runs. And if I can get 90 feet closer to score runs. Now, when I was younger, in my earlier stage, I would just run just to run. But now, as I matured, now I'm taking the odds of my chances of being successful. I want to be more successful than anything else. And so the odds, I want to make sure the odds are actually in my favor. When the game's on the line is another thing too. If we're talking about 8th, 9th inning, guess what? I need to get second. I'm going to do that.
Right. All right. When we come back from break, we're going to spend a little more time talking about the stolen base world with the stolen base master, Rajai Davis. And folks, don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this one. Back here in a few minutes on The Circus.